Hey everyone, and welcome to Eleanor's Fan World. I'm so glad you're here. On this channel, we dive into exciting stories and creative worlds, perfect for anyone who loves fan fiction, fantasy, and adventure. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out. And of course, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know your thoughts or what topics you'd like to see next. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. It's Never Too Late by MaggiMagic. Sometimes, we realize what we truly want only when it's too late. It was in the middle of a crowded living room in the borough that Luna Lovegood found herself to be one of the witnesses of a much-awaited engagement, the one between two of her best friends, Harry Potter and Ginny Weasley. All the Weasleys, including Ron and Hermione, Harry's best friends through thick and thin, were present. The atmosphere was extremely jovial. Molly Weasley was brimming with happiness as she served them drinks. Harry was busy chatting with Hermione and Ron in one corner of the room. Everyone seemed to have someone to talk to, except her. However, her observations were proved wrong the very next moment as her best friend, Ginny Weasley, Harry's bride-to-be, hunched down in a chair beside her. "You seem to be drifting away," she said in a concerned voice. "Anything new in that?" Luna said, smiling at her friend, who beamed back. "Luna, it's time you two find someone," Ginny said. "I want to see my friend settle down with the man she loves." Luna shrugged. "That's the least of my concerns. In fact, I wanted to announce something. It would do no damage if you know of this a little in advance." "What?" Ginny asked, eyebrows raised. "I want to go around the world and explore new magical creatures," Luna informed, beaming like the radiant sun. "I want to prove people like Ron and Hermione wrong, who say crumple-horned snorkaks don't exist." Ginny roared out laughing, earning a disapproving scowl from Molly Weasley. "I am sure you will," she remarked after finally recovering from her hysterics. But Ginny's smile faltered. "You will be leaving us, won't you?" "Not before your wedding." "Small consolation," Ginny huffed. Luna simply smiled back. She didn't know if it was a smile or a sigh. It was something unpleasant. While walking back to her apartment that night, Luna felt proud of herself for not resorting to lying yet another day, not even when she told Ginny that finding someone for her was the least of her worries. That was not because she was not interested, but because it was simply beyond her reach. Yes, there was a man she loved. Unfortunately, it was Harry James Potter. It was 1 o'clock at night, and Luna Lovegood was sitting on the sofa in her shabby little living room. The place was extremely dirty, up to the point that some of the least visible corners were adorned with cobweb. That was why Ronald would make 100 excuses before Hermione finally dragged her into the apartment during their visits. The thought made Luna chuckle, silently of course. Who did she have to laugh with? It was becoming increasingly common for her to not be able to sleep at night. She suspected it was something related to Harry and Ginny's marriage. Oh, she hit the top of her head with her hand. Tomorrow was their wedding, the wedding of her best friends. How could she forget it? Some strange voice in the back of her head was commanding her not to go back to bed, to keep herself seated just there, as if to wait for someone. She was not sure who she was waiting for, but nevertheless, she obeyed. As strange as it may seem, she had absolutely no idea why her eyelids prickled with what seemed like tears. Were those tears of joy for her friends? No, she didn't think so. Also, her small hands were trembling, though it was barely cold. Her unsaid prayers were finally answered around 2 o'clock when she heard the doorbell ring. Luna practically jumped up from the sofa to answer the door. She flung it open to see the man she had thinking of a lot lately, Harry. Harry looked exhausted. Dark circles were formed under his eyes, and his hair was already starting to turn gray. So strange, as he was just 20 years old. "May I come in?" Harry asked, somewhat uncertain. His words brought Luna out of her reverie, and she realized she had been staring at Harry for at least a minute. Yes, she stuttered, widening the door more so as to allow her friend to enter. She was a little taken aback when Harry did not comment on the dirtiness of the living room. But then, Harry had never judged her, not even once. Harry walked over to the sofa and stood there for a while, as if waiting for permission, before finally deciding to sit down. After gently closing the door, Luna walked over and sat opposite to him. She crossed her arms and waited for him to speak. She noticed that the cobwebs had disappeared. I was finding it difficult to sleep. Harry finally cut through the silence. Luna nodded at him. Me too. Something is not quite right, don't you think? Harry said, looking up eagerly at her. After all these years, it still delighted Luna that Harry regarded her opinions so highly when others simply thrashed her. What could be wrong, Harry?
She inquired gently.
You are getting married tomorrow. And that to Ginny, the woman you love. Harry laughed weakly at that. Yes, the woman I love. A deafening silence enveloped the two. Ginny, the woman I love?
Harry repeated.
Ginny Weasley, the woman I love, the woman I am getting married to. Tom, tomorrow. And then something completely unexpected happened. Tears rolled down Harry's cheeks. Luna managed to notice it just before Harry rubbed them off with the back of her hand. Why are you crying, Harry? Luna asked gently. Harry looked up at her with a flabbergasted expression. So silly of him to think she hadn't noticed him crying. It just doesn't feel right, you know, Harry mumbled. Don't ask me why. I don't know. Luna let Harry weep openly for a few minutes before continuing. Nothing's wrong, Harry. You will get married tomorrow. You and Ginny will have nice children. You will have a family. I know what a family means to you, Harry. You have always yearned for one ever since you lost your own. No, Luna.
Luna. Harry groaned, tears now streaming out like a waterfall from his sore eye.
Nothing seems right. And I suspect the reason is somehow related to the marriage tomorrow. Luna's heartbeat accelerated like a rocket before she composed herself and continued. I think I know what you mean. Suddenly, Harry's face emerged from his hands, and his face was gleaming with anticipating, like a small child. Luna loved that look on Harry's face. You know, please tell me. Luna shrugged. Harry, I am not sure if you want to hear it. Please, Luna, Harry shouted. Next moment, he joined his hands and kneeled down on the floor. I beg you to tell me. I can't live with this misery. It's been eating me from the insides for days now. Please tell me. Tears rolled down Luna's face, as well as she said, Okay. She took a deep breath before continuing. I think you love me. Harry stared at her face for sonic moments, his face showing no emotion. Even with that, it could not have been clearer that his thoughts were engaged in a fierce warfare with each other in the battlefield of his brain. You think so? Harry asked in a low tone. Yes, Harry. I think so, Luna said with a small smile. I think you are right, Harry said after a few moments. He got up from the floor and sat back down on the sofa. Trying to brush aside the conversation, Luna stood up. Do you want me to make tea? Apparently, Harry was so immersed in his thoughts that he could not hear her offer. Luna decided to repeat herself. Do you want me to? Then why am I marrying Ginny? Harry said abruptly. Yes, damn it. He hit the air with his fist just like he did after winning a Quidditch match back at Hogwarts. It explains everything. I don't really love Ginny. I have always loved you. Now, it was Luna's turn to find herself at a loss of words. She did not even notice Harry striding up to her and engulfing her in a fierce yet gentle embrace. So silly of me, Harry said, almost laughing. I have been running after what I never really wanted without ever realizing that the thing I really want was right in front of me all the time. Luna kept still. I love you, Luna. I love you a lot, Harry whispered into her ear. For a moment, the thought of having Harry was so tempting that Luna considered encouraging Harry. But no, she could not do that to Ginny, her friend. I love you too, Harry, she moaned. They just held each other, savoring every moment for a while. But Luna abruptly pulled herself away. But I'm afraid it's too late, Harry. Harry's half-smile dropped from his face as he stammered. But why? You're getting married tomorrow, remember? Luna said encouragingly. But that was the last word she would use to describe the reaction on Harry's face. Harry crawled down on the floor and hammered his fists on it again and again, crying in agony. No, no, he shrieked. No, it can't be. Luna kneeled down beside him and gently patted his back. It had an immediate effect as the pounding stopped, but Harry's trembling did not cease. Luna wrapped her hands around him and tenderly pulled him up. You will be happy, Harry. I am sure of it. You will have your happy ending. Not without you, Harry complained. Not with me, Luna sadly countered. Harry was lost in his thoughts for a few seconds before he asked, Is there no way out? Luna shook her head. No, Harry. As much as I would like to contradict it, I am afraid there is no way out. Both of them stood up together and looked at each other with hungry eyes, as if they were seeing the other for the last time. I think you should head back now, Harry, Luna said with a fake smile. As Harry turned back, Luna felt she had something more to say. And one more thing, Harry. Harry stopped walking away, but he did not turn back. He shrugged, indicating that he was listening. It may be late for us to be together, Harry, but it's never too late to love anyone. I can still love you, and I will, for the rest of my life, and even beyond that. Without turning back, Harry said, Love you too, Luna. Harry opened the door, walked outside, and was about to close it when Luna urgently screamed, holding out her hand. Wait! Harry widened the door a bit, just enough to make his red, puffy eyes visible before he said yes. Luna was unsure of what to say, so she simply clenched her fists before saying, Don't leave me alone, Harry. I am lonely. They stared at each other in silence before Harry swung open the door, stepped inside once again, and closed it decisively with a slam. Marching over to her, he grabbed her shoulders tightly and stared deep into her blue eyes with his green ones. And then, in that moment, both of them knew what the other wanted. They sat down on the sofa together. Luna rested her head on Harry's shoulder as he gently stroked her blonde hair. It was so soft and silky and nice to touch. It made Harry sad that the woman he loved would never be his. Do you regret not saying anything sooner?
Luna asked gently.
Yes. I do, Harry gulped. I probably will every day from now on. Regret can be a cruel companion. Agreed. Thus, they slept like that, with Luna clinging onto Harry's chest and Harry clutching her shoulder. And when the night passed to let the morning sun show its ugly face, anyone looking at them, so much at comfort with each other, would say without the least doubt that they were made to be together. It was in the midst of Harry and Ginny's wedding the next day that Luna found herself in a turmoil of emotion. Her best friends, the two people who meant the world to her, were getting married. They, at least Ginny, looked radiantly happy. Ginny, with her blazing red hair, was looking beautiful. Harry, too, was handsome, with his messy raven hair and immersive green eyes. Luna wondered how anyone could prevent from losing themselves in those eyes. It was such a happy occasion. Everyone around her was smiling. Every smile was genuine, except hers and Harry. It was her friend's marriage. She should be happy, right? But then, it was Harry's marriage to Ginny. The man she loved would be lost forever. She should be sad, right? The world was so strange sometimes. While the marriage vows were being taken, Luna silently sniffled. Her heart was bleeding. It was threatening to shatter into 1,000 tiny pieces. But then, Harry looked up at her and smiled, and her heart started healing itself. She smiled back. During his vow, Harry stopped abruptly at the point where he said something about loving, causing many to stare at the groom. But none of them, not even Ron and Hermione, noticed what Luna saw. Harry had looked straight at her and they had locked eyes for a brief second. It was so subtle that it even deceived Hermione's keen eyes. That was some achievement. Finally, Harry and Ginny stepped down. While everyone was busy staring at Ginny's beauty, Harry sent a look at Luna and mouthed, I love you! Smiling, Luna whispered, I love you too. No ear heard it except the pair it was meant for. Harry, standing quite some distance away, definitely heard it as he smiled. And it was not a fake smile this time. It was a genuine one. His life was a lie. It would haunt him forever, through life and death. He still carried a small photo of her in his purse. He loved Ginny, but it was hollow. It's never too late to love someone, right? He enjoyed several evenings with Ron and Hermione, but those were all hollow. Harry's life had become a facade of happiness. Luna had vanished forever from his life, like a happy little bird, but Harry could never forget her, her butterbeer necklace, her words of wisdom, and most importantly, the last night they had together. Years later, when a baby girl was born, Ginny asked him for a name. He dreamed every night, but it was nothing but a streak of blonde hair running away from him. Sometimes we realize what we truly want only when it's too late. What could be worse than that? Lily Luna? He replied softly, remembering the two women he had loved and lost.